Every business have both good and bad sides. And here are 6 lessons that I've learned after 6 years of running e-commerce business. The number 1 lesson I've learned after running e-commerce business is that the grass is not always greener on the other side. What I simply mean is that most people, they have high expectation when they are going to e-commerce business. I also have this kind of expectation because my mentor at the time and the people I was looking up to are making it really big in the e-commerce business. So I thought if I get into the business, I'm going to be making a lot of money. But reality hit me after I get into the business. At some point, I was even thinking, are you sure people are making money with this same business I'm doing? So if you are just starting an e-commerce business and everything just feel like it's stressful, it's not real, or it's complicated, that is how it's going to feel. Don't put yourself in the category of people that have been running the business for over 5 years, over 3 years, or over 4 years. At first, you have to put in the necessary work before you enjoy what they actually enjoy. Although sometimes you might be lucky and you start making reasonable amount of money within 6 months of going to the business. But what I'm trying to say is that lower your expectation. Don't expect big when you are just going to the business. The second lesson I've learned is that you are going to lose a lot of money on bad products. This can either be a bad product that you test and you waste money, and this can also be a bad product that you import and later realize after the product gets to Nigeria or to your country that this product is not as highly demanded as it looked like. And the truth is that it's part of the learning phase. It's part of the lesson you are going to learn when you are going to the business or when you are running the business, because you get to learn why those products don't sell and what you need to avoid to select your next products. Because think about it, if you are also always selecting good products all the time, how will you know what makes a bad product and how to avoid those kind of products? So for every 10 products you test, expect to lose some money testing some products. And before now, I actually lost a lot of money on bad products because as soon as I see them, I just analyze them and I feel like, okay, they are a good product without doing a proper testing, and I import them. After I import them, I run adverts for them and I find out that sales are not coming. But now, I always advise people to always test the product before they actually import it, especially when you are doing importation. If you are doing dropshipping on the other hand, this might minimize your amount you are going to lose on the product you are going to test. Basically, you are going to lose money on testing but not importing the product. So if you are trying to select a product, I highly recommend you test the product. And I talk about different ways that you can test your products in one of my programs that I'm going to leave the link below this video, as this is going to save you at least 70% of money you are supposed to waste on importing bad products. Another lesson I've learned is that there's always new things to learn. At some point in the business, I feel like I know everything, I'm exposed to everything. Not until I come across some gurus that actually open my eyes on certain things. Since then, I've always opened to new ideas, learn and unlearn. Especially in this e-commerce space, you have to learn, you have to unlearn. One of the I unlearned in the past few months is one of my mentors told me that when you are going into importation or when you are trying to import a product, don't import a fragile product, which is the advice I've always stick to. But something happened sometime last year that I just think to myself, at this point, I have to break these rules and let me see what is going to happen. So I break the rules, and that happened to be one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because that particular product have generated me enough money than all the products I've been selling in the past. So that is why you have to learn and unlearn. Now, I'm not saying that you should go against your mentor, but once in a while, you might want to try it so that you can have the first-hand experience. What I mean by first-hand experience is that you want to know the outcome by doing it yourself. Now, your mentor or your instructor might have done the same thing and they get to learn a lesson, and that is what they pass to you. Now, when you do the same thing, you might learn something different entirely from what they learned. So that is why you have to learn and unlearn and have the first-hand experience when you are doing the business. Try different things. You are going to lose money here and there, but at the end of the day, when you finally hit the code, you are just going to recover everything that you might have like lost when it comes to losing money in the business. The number 4 thing that I've learned is that frustration from customer, from the government, sometimes from Facebook adverts might want to make you quit the business sometime. Now, customer frustration is something you should expect when you are going to the business. It's not, you can't avoid it. Like, you can't avoid it, so you should prepare for it. If you don't want to experience it, maybe you might have to get a sales rep. Even as at that, at the end of each day or within the day, the sales rep is still going to pass some important information or message to you. Although you can always tell the sales rep to always exclude those customer frustration or something that you might hear and you like might make you want to go mad. You get the point? Imagine a customer place an order, you call the customer that you are coming for the delivery, just for you to get to the location and the customer phone is off, like after you have spent like maybe like 4,000 naira on transport. So that is one of the frustration, like one of the major frustration when you are going to a e-commerce business and you have to do delivery for customer because you are running on payment on delivery. This customer just take advantage of this thing, like nothing is happening, like they have nothing to lose. I hope you get my point. So the customer is going to frustrate you. The government is one of the person that is going to even frustrate you most. For example, if you are running the business and you are using a dispatch bike, sometimes the police might just hold your rider, or sometimes all this local government might just like hold your rider and frustrate you. One of the frustration I've experienced from the government since I've been running this business is when they actually removed the fuel subsidy. The frustration was so much that the location that we used to deliver spend like let me just say 700 naira transport to deliver to that location before just suddenly jumped to like 1,500 2,000 naira. You get the point? Like the whole thing just skyrocketed. The logistic company that usually charge, let's say 2,500 for a particular location, 3,500 before, just start charging like 6,000 naira, 5,000 naira minimum, like sometimes 8,000, 7,000 naira. Like you can imagine the frustration, like just because the government take one decision that do not favor your business. Like you should just expect all this frustration, but at the end of the day, with this frustration, some people are going to quit, some are going to give up, some are going to just sell off their product and just pack up. So it's now left for you to endure and find your way around it. For example, when the government removed fuel subsidy, I could not cope with the logistic payment because how can you expect me to be selling like 15,000 naira products and at the end of the day I'm paying 7,000 naira for logistic? Like it does not make that, like the thing does not add up, because some of these customers, when you ask them to pay 7,000 naira for logistic, like they will not even want to pay. You get the idea? But I just have to find my way around it, do some experiment, lose some money here and there. So I actually end up going for self-delivery agents. Although I'm supposed to buy a dispatch and get a rider, but getting a self-delivery agent was the fastest and the cheapest at the time. So I just okay, you know what, let me just do this. Even as I getting the self-delivery agent, I still experience some like failure here and there, try and error, and at the end of the day, I was able to figure it out. It does take time and I waste some money experimenting, but at the end of the day I figure it out. And I even have to record some video program about how I get self-delivery agent and how they help you to deliver that is cheaper than the normal dispatch rider and everything, and they get your product to your customer faster, increase your successful delivery rate and all that. Meanwhile, while I was trying to figure this thing out and doing trial and error, see how I can cut down the logistic expenses, there are some people somewhere, like my colleagues, some of the people I know, that say, you know what, I'm no more doing again. This thing is frustrating. I want to do something else. So they'll quit. Like some of them sell off like this. They'll sell off their product for a ridiculous price just to they just want to get out of the business. They don't want to do it again because the frustration is just too much. So it's not less for you if you can like cope, and at the end of the day you are going to win, definitely. Now another lesson I've learned about the e-commerce business is that you should never be too comfortable with your results or your revenue per se. And the reason why I say this is because for years I believed that I was doing well in the business, making some figures here and there. Not until I come across one of my let's say mentor colleague that is making almost like 40x compared to what I was making, and we are in the same industry, we are selling to the same markets and everything. Like I just try to wrap my head around it. Like, is this something that this person is doing that I'm not doing, or is doing differently? So I start digging here and there, and then I now figure out that okay, this is why I'm not actually doing well. This is so I try to fix few things, and I was able to 5x my results, which I think I make a video about it. I'm going to leave the link of the video in the description of this video. So, but before then, before I discovered that, I was like, you know what, this figure I'm actually making it does make sense, not knowing that I was making 40x lower than what some people are making. You get the point? So you should always try to find a way to, like, maybe every 6 months. What I do now is I just look at my figures in the last 6 months and see how I can like increase it, even though it's like 10% or 20% compared to the last 6 months. But I prefer to go like let's just say 25% upward. That way I know that I'm keeping up with the inflation and everything. So that is one of the lessons I've learned running e-commerce business. Not to be too comfortable with what you are currently making. Always try to make more. Find a way to make more, like find a way to scale more than what you are currently making. At least every 6 months, try to look at what you can do differently, different products. If you want to try different channel, like advertisement channel, maybe you want to use Facebook again, you want to use Google, or you want to use TikTok advertisement, organic, anything. Just find a way to just increase that figure. And the sixth thing, which is going to be the last thing I've learned about e-commerce business in the last 6 years, is that it's always good to have a side hustle, right? And the reason why I say this is because I don't know how other people run their own, but what I basically do is that when I make sales, I don't take out the profits. You get? I don't take out the profits. I only pay myself weekly allowance. Although before now, I just, remove money from the business, then spend it. Let's say I went out and I see something I like to buy, I will just enter the business accounts, or put the money, like use it to buy anything, like just spend it. But what I found out is that as I was doing that, the business was just sluggish. The business is not like growing. Like, what I was like, what is going on? Until I go ahead and check my bank statement, and I noticed that most of the money that is already coming into the business, I was spending it. I was using it for personal use. So I would just like to sit myself down. I was like, okay, I'll be paying myself salary. So I think I pay myself salary for like 2 weeks, but it does not work. Because after I spend the money, like I still have to go back to the business money. So I start paying myself allowance. It still does not work, but it's still better than paying myself a salary, because that salary, is 30 days. 30 days. That 30 days money, you can spend it finish within a week. But when I pay myself allowance, I know that okay, a weekly allowance, I know that okay, this is what I'm going to spend from Monday to Sunday. So I will know how to minimize it. So now the monthly allowance, the weekly allowance you are paying yourself might not be enough. In fact, I pay myself 10x lower, or let's just say 20x lower compared to the profit I'm making, because I'm not actually paying myself for the profit. I'm actually paying myself like I'm doing the job for the company. You get? So the allowance you are paying yourself might not be enough to sustain you at some point. So your best bet is going to be to have a side hustle. You get? Now, if you are the only one running the business, like you are the only one talking to the customer, running the advertisements, and doing all the other thing, I will advise you to look at the job that you can outsource, and outsource it, like the sales rep job, people that will talk to the customer and all that. You can outsource that one. Then the time you are supposed to use for that work, let's say you are supposed to be using like 7 hours to do that. You can invest that 7 hours to maybe something tangible, like something that is going to fetch you 4s, 10s, or even 20s of what you are paying the sales rep. You get? So that means you are buying someone else's time to use your time well. I hope you get my point. So if the business keep you too busy to have another side hustle, then you can outsource some tasks of the business. But from experience, I think it's better to have a side hustle, so that when money is coming from the business, maybe you are getting allowance from the business, then you are getting another money from the other side that you are making, like side hustle, then it will not put much pressure on the money from the business, so that you can easily make reasonable amount of profit and pour it back to the business, buy more products, spend more on advertisement, and do other things. So basically, those are the 6 things that I've learned after 6 years of running e-commerce business. My name is Sam Green, and if you find this video helpful, kindly give this video a thumbs up so that more people like you can get to see this video. Share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell notification so that anytime I drop a new video just like this, you'll be among the first people to be notified.